Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, one of the wealthiest economies of the Middle East. Soon, the city will host the One Water Summit, the joint event initiated by Kazakhstan and France during UN's climate conference COP28 in Dubai. The summit is expected to address some of the important issues related to the water scarcity and combating desertification. We are here for exclusive details, so let's get started. Water is life. This is a known fact. Water is used for the needs of people, industries and agriculture, and there is no wonder that humankind is running out of this precious resource. Today, the term water management has been inserted into political dialogue. The timing is perfect. The One Water Summit, initiated by the presidents of Kazakhstan and France and hosted by Saudi Arabia, one of the leading regional players in a green transition, is one of the platforms for addressing and engaging global response for saving and managing vital resources.
Saudi Arabia use a lot of water desalination, so we have developed many knowledge on the water desalination that we use for our drinking water, and we are a country that has a lot of shore on the sea, whether in the Gulf or in the Red Sea. So this is why the water issue is extremely important, as we don't have a huge underground reserve of water there, but still we have developed a lot of knowledge. We are trying to use an excellent irrigation system, and we know the importance of the climate changes and the impact on this issue. This is why the Saudi Crown Prince, His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman, came up with a major initiative, which is Green Saudi Arabia, Green Middle East, that we wanted to have plantation, that this will help to change the environment, that hopefully will increase the rain supply to this huge territory.
Now, the working visit of the President of Kazakhstan to Saudi Arabia has started. In the airport, Kazakh President is welcomed by the member of the royal family, Deputy Mayor of Riyadh region, His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Abdulrahman bin Abdulaziz. So the One Water Summit is about to start here in the capital of Saudi Arabia. You can see the seat of the President of Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, who will be delivering his speech during the summit. It is expected also that different issues related to the water management, to combating the desertification, will be addressed here at the summit. This joint event, let me remind you, is the initiative of Kazakhstan and France, and the summit will start very soon, and we are here to follow its agenda. And there is much to keep up with. The summit seeks to accelerate action on SDG 6, clean water and sanitation, as well as to address major water challenges prior to the 2026 UN Water Conference. Kazakhstan, as a co-host of the summit, builds up a political momentum for solving water issues.
We're very excited. One of the reasons why we wanted to have this One Water Summit is because we realize that there needs to be a stronger political agenda about water issues, and we hope that the One Water Summit can really push these discussions forward, and we can really have a very strong political momentum on that.
Now, the head of state addresses the audience with his opening remarks. Among high-level participants of the summit, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, the world leaders, heads of international organizations and financial institutions, global climate experts. Speaking at the summit, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev mentions water security as the basis for sustainable development and economic progress, adding that Kazakhstan is fully in line with global water initiatives.
Over 2 billion people worldwide still lack access to safe drinking water. More than 4 billion people experience severe water scarcity. These stark realities call for a unified global response to ensure a sustainable future for all. Kazakhstan is a large landlocked country, understands the true value of water. We have learned the hard way that is not an infinite resource. Hence, to achieve lasting progress, we must treat water as a precious and vital resource.
Kazakhstan is on the way to implementing a new water code, whose main goal is to ensure rational usage of water. The strategic document will revise the state's water policies, ensuring water security and stable economic growth.
The issue of water conservation runs through all articles of the Water Code. We must conserve water in all spheres, primarily due to the fact that global climate change is taking place and we all see that the temperature is rising. Hence, the evaporation rate is increasing, which will create problems in the near future for the availability of water resources. Therefore, the Water Code is aimed at legislative regulation of this issue as well. Measures to prevent floods as well as drought are very well prescribed here.
Global political engagement needs urgent action. For that, water diplomacy should effectively work. One of the examples is International Fund for Saving the Aral Sea, which faced one of the most disastrous consequences of irrational water consumption.
Казахстан с этого года является председателем.
Kazakhstan has been chairing the organization since this year. Now, one of the topical issues on the agenda is the need to introduce modern water-saving technologies. According to specialists, about 60–70% of water is lost as a result of the fact that the infrastructure of the water sector is outdated and requires modernization and investments for this purpose.
Indeed, investments matter. On the sidelines of the One Water Summit, the head of state holds a meeting with the president of the World Bank Group, Ajay Banga. Highlighting the importance of strategic partnership with this institution, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev mentions 5 major joint projects in Kazakhstan, totaling $3.5 billion. Green financing is a growing market. Having AIFC, Astana International Financial Center, Kazakhstan is in a favorable position of attracting green investments.
In 2020, again, as you well know, we have started from listing the first green bonds in the Kazakhstan, actually in the region. That was by the Damu Fund, which was quite small. Now, actually, the market is quite big. Just last year, actually beginning of this year, Development Bank of Kazakhstan has issued green bonds that has exceeded $200 million. But not just only in Kazakhstan, also our Green Finance Center has been helping our neighbors like Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Azerbaijan to develop the green finance market.
And again, cooperation is key. For the actions to be implemented fast, the global partnership is needed. The message is clear and supported in almost all parts of the world.
The idea is good to raise awareness of the public on the necessity to act and to use this One Water Summit as a platform to incubate projects dedicated both to the preservation of fresh water, but also the adjustments of our production processes, consumption processes, in order to limit the pressure on this very scarce and precious resource.
We continue our trip through the Middle East. Now the reporter with President Tim has traveled to Doha, the capital of the state of Qatar. Soon the president of Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, will arrive here to take part in the Doha Forum 2024, a platform for the global leaders, policy and decision makers who will address the most important challenges of the modern times: global social and economic instabilities, military conflicts and political turmoils. We're here to cover the agenda of the forum, to listen to the key messages of the speakers of the summit and to share all important details with you. So let's get started. We have arrived at the premises of the forum. The event will start with the opening ceremony and then will continue its work for the next 2 days. So Doha Forum 2024 will start very, very soon with participation of the leaders of countries, policymakers and negotiators who will meet each other during the day at the various panel sessions, and they will share some very important opinions on the hot topics on the agenda, like establishing peace in the troubled areas of the world, ensuring stable economic development. Kassym-Jomart Tokayev is also one of the high-level panelists of the forum. Let's see what kind of messages he will deliver, as well as other panelists of the forum later today. Doha Forum is opened by the Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Qatar, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman bin Yassim Al Thani. In his speech, he welcomes more than 4,500 participants from over 150 countries gathered in Doha. Among them are leaders of states, ministers, and high-ranked government officials. The First Lady of the United States, Dr. Jill Biden, delivers her inspiring opening remarks, underlining the importance of global unity. During the opening panel, 6 outstanding journalists who carried out their duties in the conflict zones were rewarded with a special Doha Forum award, while El Daghdou, the journalist of Al Jazeera, lost 2 of his children and a wife in Palestine while covering the events as a journalist. This courageous man continues reporting from Gaza, being an archetype of devotion for his peers.
Colleagues who are still carrying out their duty in Gaza despite everything, despite the destruction, despite the blockade, despite these tragedies, the enormous loss and pain, it is a great honor for them. On the other hand, it is a light that shines on the suffering of these people, our suffering as journalists and our families, and the importance of what we're doing. It is a noble, humane message that should be protected by all laws, but despite that, we pay a very high price.
After the opening ceremony attended by the head of state, there is another meeting scheduled for today with the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. During the meeting, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev highlights the strategic nature of partnership between countries given the implementation of joint investment projects in Kazakhstan. Investments are a very important part of the dialogue with Qatar. President Tokayev met with Qatari leading businessmen who will invest into the major projects in telecom industry and energy sector of Kazakhstan. Power International Holding, for example, is ready to invest billions of US dollars in construction of gas processing plants in Qazaqstan, a new compressor station, as well as gas pipelines across the country.
We have some projects with Kazakh we have other projects with Samruk Energy, all going very well. We have signed most of the agreements that we have between us, and it's going according to the timeline, and we think inshallah in 2025 all the construction will start for most of the projects.
Kazakh Gas is working with PIH on gas pipeline from Aktobe to Kustanay, from Binyo Bozoy Shymkent, second line, and gas processing plant with a capacity of 1 BCM per annum, and the second gas processing plant with the capacity of 2.5 billion cubic meters per annum. Moreover, with PIH, where also Samruk Energy, another our subsidiary, is working on construction of gas power plant located in the Kızıldağ region with a capacity of 1.1 gigawatt.
Another promising area of cooperation is the IT sector. PIH is interested in diversifying its investment portfolio in Kazakhstan, taking for consideration projects related to AI and big data.
They will be opening their AI laboratory in Kazakhstan in the National AI Center that we are about to open next year. They will be working on some use cases, they'll be doing a research, they'll be using data sets that will provide to train the models, and then once the models are approved and tested, we can use them in various economy sectors and industries, for example also in medtech.
Now you can see the Q&A session with the President of Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, has started. He's asking the most topical questions. The CNN anchor, Julia Chatterley, and these questions are related to some very topical issues related to the security, global security, and resolving global conflicts, be it in the Middle East or in Ukraine. So now the President is addressing also the very important question related to the bilateral relations between Kazakhstan and the United States.
Speaking further at the panel session with CNN anchor Julia Chatterley, the head of state also highlights the rising influence of the middle powers and their active engagement into resolving the global contradictions, being the bridges between so-called superpowers. Talking about bridges, CNN's Julia Chatterley has highlighted the role of Kazakhstan in fostering global dialogue on politics, economy, and climate agendas.
We can see a lot, whether it's geopolitical strife, conflict, economic challenges, I think, that the world has been through. So I think it's a very pivotal moment to be meeting in Doha and all the nations that are going to be represented. I saw your president speak at the United Nations over a year ago, and he was talking about the need for greater cohesion, for diplomacy, for talking more. And I think Kazakhstan has a role to play in that as an enormous geographical nation, with borders with Russia, obviously a huge trade partner in China, but also takes investment from the United States, from Europe as well. So I think there is an important role as perhaps a bridge builder to try and meet the challenges that we face today at a time of disunity.
Disruptions happen to be solved with the joint effort of the global community, be it conflicts, insecurities, injustices, or climate change. The urgency of the idea is particularly present here in the Middle East. That's everything we wanted to share with you from our trip to Riyadh and Doha. That's it for today. See you next time.